There was a time when sunlight turned the earth into a gallery, when elegant estates welcomed works of art that drew us closer and closer together. It was a captivating time. It was spring, this spring at Biltmore. Plan your visit or overnight stay so you can enjoy the marvelous works of Chihuly while every corner of Biltmore blooms. Reserve now to get spring savings at Biltmore.com.
You're listening to the Sisters-in-Laws podcast, a faith-based podcast that spotlights Black women who replace silence with storytelling around pregnancy and infant loss and infertility. Black women experience miscarriage and stillbirth 4 to 5 times more likely than white women, according to the NIH and CDC. Whether you've experienced a miscarriage, infant loss, stillbirth, are trying to conceive, or have an infertility diagnosis, you will learn about resources and strategies to heal, gain clarity, peace, hope, and find an empowering path forward after loss. I'm your host, Erica M. McAfee, and you will hear me interview sisters-in-laws who have healed from such a painful and traumatic experience by sharing their testimonies and stories to inspire and help others turn their pain into their purpose. Now let's get started. Today's episode is a solo episode to share about Bereaved Mother's Day and Mother's Day. And then to also hear from you listeners. I have received some amazing thoughts on how you all have honored your babies through Bereaved Mother's Day and Mother's Day and some of your favorite episodes of the podcast. So we've made it to 200, guys. It's over 200 episodes, over 100 hours of us. For us, by us, Black women and women of color sharing our stories in power with the world. It has been my greatest honor to celebrate with you all and to achieve this milestone. So thank you for listening, for seeing me, for allowing me to tell your stories, and for those of you who listen in week after week. This past Sunday was Bereaved Mother's Day. Did you know that as grieving mothers, we have a special day just for us too? Bereaved Mother's Day was created in 2010 to celebrate mothers who have a child or multiple children in heaven. The first Sunday in May is dedicated to moms like us who hold a child in our heart instead of in our arms. This upcoming Sunday, the second Sunday in May, the world stops to honor and celebrate moms around the world. Well, mainly the US. The UK has a separate Mother's Day in March, but we'll bring them in on this Mother's Day as well. Families typically splurge on greeting cards, flowers, gifts, fun traditions, and lavish meals. As you all know that we like to eat in our community to show our motherly figures that are in our lives how much they are loved and cared for. This Sunday coming up on Mother's Day, I want you to consider resting. Yes, that means rest your mind, rest your body, and reflect on all that you have been through to become a mother, because you are a mother. If you have a child in your arms, or if your child is in heaven, it is a day to rest. I can't think of anyone more deserving on Mother's Day than a mother who had to give their child back. Take this day to rest and reflect. And for those of us who want some ideas on how to remember our angels this Mother's Day, here are a few ideas to remember your angel. 1, you can plant a tree in your baby's memory. 2, order a customized remembrance plaque to hang in the house. 3, buy a memorial stone for your home with your baby's name engraved on it. 4, have a moment of silence when you want to remember your angel. Say a prayer to yourself and share a few thoughts with your angel. 5, customize a memorial wind chime from Etsy. 6, create a Pandora charm bracelet with charms that represent the memory of your angel. 7, Write a letter to your baby and keep it in your memory box, and do it every Mother's Day. 8, buy a piece of jewelry with your baby's name or your baby's birthstones on it. 9, release flying wish paper with a special message written on it. This is an alternative that's a little bit more eco-friendly than a balloon release, but for those of you who want to release balloons, it is still the same thought. Remember to always just use caution when you're handling fire with this releasing wish paper. And lastly, you can do nothing, because some years when Mother's Day rolls around, you just won't have their energy, and that is perfectly okay. Here is a listener who shares how she has honored her angels during Bereaved Mother's Day as well as Mother's Day.
Hi, my name is Jessica, mother of my son Charlie John, living in Manila, Philippines. I remember during the first year of Mother's Day after my loss, I really struggled desperately from waiting family members, friends, and people around to greet me a happy Mother's Day. It took me a while to validate my own self that I was and I am still a mother, and to embrace motherhood whether or not I receive a greeting on Mother's Day. The fondest day of Mother's Day as an angel mom, it would probably be launching an advocacy for baby loss a year after my miscarriage. I've experienced firsthand how it felt like to grieve silently, and I knew there was a need to acknowledge the unborn children and comfort their parents, and with my advocacy, primarily support for mothers. The event was called Bereaved Believe, a message to every bereaved mother that there is hope, that there could still be joy, that they are worth celebrating as a mother. This isn't the motherhood that we all imagine, but Mother's Day can still be happy as we grieve together, as we heal together, and celebrate each other. To every bereaved mother out there and fathers, happy Mother's Day.
I don't know if you can hear me smiling through my voice, but I am so excited that we have made it to this milestone. Today's episode is a solo episode as we celebrate hitting this milestone and really talk about Bereaved Mother's Day as well as Mother's Day.
Mother's Day after loss is, of course, very bittersweet for me now. But the first year that we lost our son, I did find out about Bereaved Mother's Day. So I actually celebrated my motherhood with Owen on that date, even though I felt a little bit resentful to have a separate day in which I would now have to celebrate one of my children. It was also really nice for that to be acknowledged because, of course, not everyone would think of him in Mother's Day messages and all that. So that way I had a separate date just for myself and Owen. And on Mother's Day, we did include him by going to the graveside with our daughter and having a picnic, and for all the years following, we'll always have some way to include Owen, even though we can't go to his gravesite now that we're farther away, but he's always in our hearts. So myself, my husband, Naomi, and Jackson will always carry Owen with us.
Hi, sisters. This is Taylor Evans. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I wanted to share my fondest memory of Mother's Day, which would have been last year in 2020, my very first Mother's Day. And it was my fondest because I was showered with gifts and actually recognized as a mom for the first time, really, to be honest, but by everyone in my family, friends. I was showered with text messages and all the annoying things about holidays that could sometimes be annoying, but being able to have that love shown to me was very fun for me. Like I said, all the gifts, and it was just great to be recognized as a mother when a lot of people don't see you as that when you lose a pregnancy.
My fondest memory of Mother's Day was in 2019. It was right after I shared my story publicly during National Infertility Awareness Week about being an angel mom. My rainbow baby decided to make a craft for me, which he always does. And it was a hand-painted jar filled with affirmations. And she presented her gift to me on Mother's Day morning, and she made sure to include the names of her siblings with her gift. And it was just such a delight to her to not only present me with the gift, but to also make sure she told me that the gift was from her and her siblings. And I just thought that was such a the most heartfelt gift I've ever received. It was just beautiful. It was awesome. It was innocent, but it was really what I needed. And I just cried and cried and cried. But ever since then, she continues to make crafts throughout the year, but especially on Mother's Day. And she always includes her siblings. And so I'm just so grateful for that memory and for how she is honoring me as an angel mom and as a rainbow baby mother, but also just walking along this journey of healing and storytelling with me.
Hey, everybody. My name is Cherie Combo, and I'm in Woodbridge, Virginia, and I'm super excited about this 200th episode for the Sisters-in-Laws podcast. And I did want to share just two memories. The most negative memory for me for Mother's Day was I actually experienced my first miscarriage on Mother's Day back in 2016. But to turn that around, my fondest memory of Mother's Day is almost a year later to the T. I learned that I was pregnant again right around Mother's Day in 2017. So those were my two memory moments with Mother's Day. And I'm super proud to be an angel mom to two angel babies.
Hey sisters, wanted to pause quickly for an update from our sponsor, BetterHelp. Did you know that you can get affordable private therapy anytime, anywhere? BetterHelp can help you match you with the right therapist, particularly for therapists of color that are in your area, for yourself, your partner, or even other teens in your home. Let's help match you with the right therapist by using our offer code with BetterHelp. Sisters-in-Laws listeners get 10% off your first month with using the offer code betterhelp.com/sisters. So for those of you who are listening and looking for affordable private therapy anytime, anywhere, use the code SISTERS to get 10% off your first month. That is betterhelp.com/sisters, and join the Sisters-in-Laws community and the listeners all over the world who are using this affordable private therapy with BetterHelp. Once again, that's betterhelp.com/sisters to get 10% off. Thank you so much to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's podcast. To celebrate, we have a listener who shares with us one of her favorite episodes. So here is the listener now.
Hi, my name is Abena Hill, and I would say my all-time favorite episode of the Sister-in-Laws podcast would be episode 81, where Erica and her best friend are discussing the struggles that they both face with their losses, but also how they use that to strengthen their friendships. I think that oftentimes our friends don't always understand what we are going through. They can't always relate to our situation. They're not always able to empathize with us, and they don't always show up. So to see that these ladies were there for each other when they needed it the most was just a beautiful thing. Her friend was saying how she just hopped on a flight, left work, and she just needed to be there and to show up for Erica. So that was just heartwarming for me personally. I just appreciate this platform and all that it has to offer. So thanks so much.
Thank you so much, sis, for sharing that episode with us. It is such an honor for me to be able to have my best friends on the podcast to share their stories through their journeys to motherhood, but show how we support each other through our journeys. So I am honored, so very honored, that you've made it all the way to the end of this episode. Thank you for listening to today's episode. For show notes, go to sistersinlaws.com. To stay connected with us and join the Sisters in Loss community and receive my weekly newsletter, please go to sistersinloss.com/newsletter. That is sistersinloss.com/newsletter. Please rate and review this episode, and I will talk to you next week.
Some people take the straight path in life. But at Arizona State University, we respect your twists and turns. They make our online students more driven to excel in their professional lives. That's why our personalized suite of services empowers you with innovative resources and staff that sticks with you. Make your next turn with one of our 300-plus programs at ASU, #1 in innovation for 9 consecutive years. Visit us at asuonline.asu.edu to learn more.